A very good morning to you and welcome to today's edition of Breakfast News. I'm Nicola D'Zoiza for Newsfirst. As usual, let's start off with a look at today's headlines. Motor accident in Peradeniya leaves 10 injured. Time period for accepting applications for issuing temporary identification cards for the upcoming provincial council elections extended. Magisterial inquest into the death of Akila Dinesh in Valley area to commence today. First off, in local news, 10 people have been injured in an accident that took place along the Peradeniya Iriagam road. The police said that the accident took place when a SLTB bus collided with a lorry.
The police suspect that the accident took place as a result of a fault in the brakes of the bus that was plying from Pilimatalava towards Kandy. The police said that the bus that had collided with the lorry had veered off the road on impact. While the injured have been admitted to the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital, 2 are in critical condition. Our correspondent said that the women were also among those injured. Meanwhile, in a separate incident, a child had been injured when an electricity post fell on her. According to our correspondent, the child is also receiving treatment at the Peradeniya Teaching Hospital.
In other local news, the date for accepting applications for obtaining temporary identification cards by the Department of Elections ahead of the upcoming provincial council elections has been extended until the 3rd of September. The Elections Secretariat stated that the relevant applications can be obtained from Grama Seva officers and estate superintendents.
The application form, upon being completed, must then be accompanied with 2 copies of a photograph similar to that of a national identity card photograph and be handed over to the Grama Seva officer or estate superintendent. The only documentation to establish one's identity that will be accepted in view of the upcoming elections will be the national identity card, a valid driver's license, retired state employee's identity card, identification card for clergy, and elder's identity card, or the temporary ID card issued by the Elections Department or Department of Registration of Persons.
In other local news, the magisterial inquest into the death of KAD Akila Dinesh, who died following the clash which erupted between area residents and security forces during the protest that was held in Valley area based on a water issue, will commence at the Gampaha Magistrate Courts today. Police media spokesperson SP Buddhika Sirivardhana said that the Colombo Crimes Division is due to present facts before the court with regard to the investigations that were carried out into this incident. Meanwhile, the police media spokesperson said that statements have been recorded from a large number of individuals, including area residents, with regard to the incident that occurred in Valley area. Meanwhile, a corpse was discovered from a tank in a sports ground located down Dabare Mawatha in Narayanpeta. The police stated that the discovery was made upon information received last afternoon. The post-mortem examination is due to be conducted. The body is currently lying at the police morgue. The Narayanpeta police is carrying out further investigations into the incident. The Colombo Grand Mosque has announced that Muslims in Sri Lanka will celebrate the Ramazan festival tomorrow. Secretary of the Colombo Grand Mosque, Nadushan Hassan, said that the committee that gathered last evening arrived at this decision as the new moon was not sighted last night. What does the weather god have in store for us today? Duty meteorologist KD Sujiva explains.
A few showers will occur in the central, Sabaragamu, western and southern provinces. Thunder showers are likely at a few places in eastern, north central and Uva provinces during the afternoon or evening. Fairly strong winds are expected over the country and neighbouring sea areas, particularly along the western slope of the central hills. In addition, there may be temporary localized fairly strong winds during thunder showers. There will be showers or thunder showers at several places in the sea areas of the coast extending from Putlam to Hambantota via Galle, and showers at a few places in other sea areas too. Winds will be westerly or southwesterly direction and speed will be 30 to 50 km per hour. The speed may increase up to 60 kilometers per hour at times in the sea areas of the coast extending from Putlam to Potwil via Colombo and Galle. The sea areas of the coast extending from Putlam to Potwil via Colombo and Galle may be rough and dangerous. Other sea areas around the island will be fairly rough.
Up next is a look at the day's exchange rates. First up in news overseas, Kenyan authorities have announced that flights will resume at Kenya's main airport after the country's main airport was devastated by fire earlier in the day.
Flights will resume at Kenya's main airport on Wednesday, Kenyan authorities announced, after the country's main airport was devastated by fire earlier in the day.
Everything is being done to resume normal operations. To that end, we expect cargo and domestic services to resume from this airport this afternoon.
The fire began in the arrivals and immigration area of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in the capital, Nairobi, forcing the suspension of international passenger flights and choking a vital gateway for business and travel to East Africa. Thousands of passengers were stranded at the airport and flights were diverted to other airports in the region. Firefighters battled the blaze for 5 hours before sifting through the charred wreckage where flames had torn through the roof. Officials say the cause of the fire is still under investigation. The airport will reopen to domestic flights and international cargo flights. Plans for international passenger flights will be announced later.
Still in international news, Egypt's interim president Adli Manzour said yesterday that international mediation efforts to resolve the political crisis had failed. The statement came after Prime Minister Hazem el-Bablawi warned supporters of deposed President Mohamed Morsi that their 2 protest camps in Cairo will be dismantled.
My fellow citizens, there are some who believe they can stop your historical movement, stop the wheel of time, or believe they are able to challenge your will for a promising and deserving future. This will not happen. I want to stress that the steps of your government in facing these issues will be carefully calculated, without question or negligence. We gave the full opportunity to all diplomatic efforts to identify the realities of the current situation. We gave the space due for the implementation of the necessary efforts to end violence and bloodshed and the end to the disruption of Egyptian society. But I want to be honest with you, those efforts have not been successful, despite the full support of the Egyptian government. Egypt will always welcome the efforts of these factions and will solidify its position on supporting the future and the democratic transition.
وتعزيز الانتقال الديمقراطي.
Earlier, the presidency announced the end of foreign-led efforts to resolve the turmoil, which has been spiraling since the army toppled Morsi on the 3rd of July. All of this follows a call by Qatar's Foreign Minister Khalid El-Attiyah to release members of the Muslim Brotherhood from jail and come amid visits to Cairo by US Senators John McCain and Lindsey Graham.
احنا لن نقبل بأي مفاوضات غير برجوع الرئيس، وأي مفاوضات لا تتم إلا مع الرئيس. الرئيس ده انتخبوا الشعب، انتخبوا الناس، فدي إرادة الشعب المصري لن يستطيع أحد أن يزحزحها ولا يستطيع أحد أن يتفاوض إلا من خلال هذا الرئيس.
Foreign envoys from America, Europe, Africa and several Gulf Arab states have been visiting Egypt in the past month with little success. Almost 300 people have been killed in political violence since the overthrow, including 80 Morsi supporters shot dead by security forces in a single incident on 27th of July.
First up in sports news, the International Cricket Council denies that it is investigating players in the Ashes series over alleged attempts made by some batsmen to use silicone tape on the edge of their bats to confuse hotspot technology. Players preparing for tomorrow's fourth test also refuted the allegations.
Australia's Channel 9 TV reported yesterday that the ICC was investigating the use of silicone amid increasing controversy during the 5-test series between England and Australia over the inconsistency of the decision review system. ICC Chief Executive Dave Richardson said in a statement on its website, quote, "These media reports are totally incorrect. Jeff Allardyce is meeting with both teams and umpires to see how we can best use the DRS and the available technology going forward in the next 2 test matches. It has nothing to do with any players," unquote.
Obviously, it's nothing. I don't think any of us have done anything with silicone on our bats. We know that we put fiberglass tape on the front, and that's purely for protection of the bat to try and make it last longer. Obviously, a lot of people have their favourite bats and put tape and what have you around them, and that's purely to make our favourite bats last as long as they can.
I mean, it's a huge accusation, and it's outrageous, really. I mean, from our point of view, I mean, it was the first time we're obviously talking about it just now in the changing rooms, and obviously the excitement of me getting called up and coming into the squad and seeing the lads again from obviously missing out at Old Trafford, to be involved and have these discussions. It seems a little bit unfair, a little bit wrong, really. So.
And now bringing you some tennis news. Andy Murray shook off some early rust to beat Marcel Granola's 6-4, 7-6 in his first match since winning Wimbledon, and Rafael Nadal blazed past Canadian wildcard Jesse Levine in the second round of the Rogers Cup yesterday.
Murray struggled to find his usual rhythm in windy conditions and had to save 2 set points in a mixed display that reflected some nerves and a lack of match practice. The Scot romped through the tie-break with some impressive shot-making to set up a third-round meeting with Latvia's Ernest Gulbis, who beat Italian Fabio Fognini 6-3, 1-6, 6-1. Nadal was more impressive in his first singles match since a shock first-round defeat by Steve Darcy at Wimbledon. The 12-times Grand Slam champion found Levine willing in the opening changes as the pair engaged in some exciting and lengthy rallies. But Nadal, as he has demonstrated throughout his illustrious career, had all the answers and showed in his 6-2, 6-love victory that he has returned to the tour in top shape after an absence of 6 weeks.
Well, that's all the news for now. I'm Nicola D'Souza for Newsfirst. Join us again at 8:55 on Live at 55 for the very latest. Till then, have a wonderful day.